Welcome to Barton Park for round 5 action of the NPL New South Wales men's competition. Today we have the St. George taking on Sutherland Sharks FC. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Barton Park for round 5 action of the NPL Men's New South Wales competition. It's St George FC taking on the Sutherland Sharks. St George team that's come off their first point of the season last week, pinching a late goal, good enough for that 1 point against the Marconi Stallions, the reigning champions, and that must be a confidence booster for this side. They'll be hoping to kick on here against their opponents, Sutherland, who, well, suffered their first defeat of the campaign last week, and it was a heavy one at that, going down to Sydney Olympic by 5-1. They'll be looking to bounce back, though, and Steven Zodic won't be happy with how his team performed there. Thus, he's made a few changes to the lineup, but first we'll start with the home side. Just the one change for Fabian Micheli's team. Sunday Yona, who scored that late equaliser against Marconi, comes into the starting lineup, while Justin Poon drops to the bench. They'll start with Mackenzie Siren in goals. Number 3, Troy Danaskos. Number 5, Nicholas Kalajeru. Number 6, Pat O'Shea. Number 7, Aidan O'Shea. Number 8, Evangelo Suris. Number 10, Jaden Casella. Number 13, Sunday Yona. Number 15, Bay Antonio. Number 17, Thomas Brown. And number 27, Jaden Cito. On the bench for St George, number 12, Thomas Dunn. Number 14, as mentioned, Justin Poon. Number 16, Caden Wright. Number 20, Daniel Axford. Number 34, Kota Tayuka. And number 35, Harrison Farrow. For the visiting side, well, they've been forced into a number of changes. The first, and probably most notable, is Daniel Wong, who dropped out of the team after 9 minutes last week, having to be replaced and hasn't recovered for this week's game. They also lost Lachlan McDonald to injury. He got injured at training, walking off the training pitch, rolling his ankle. How unfortunate that is for Zodic's team. As I said, they make 3 changes. Daniel Nizic starts in goals. Takahide Umebachi, number 6. Mohamed Ahmed, number 7. Peter Grozos, number 8. Nick Sullivan comes into the team. Number 10, Maki Petrados. Number 12, Iko Arimoto. Number 17, Richard Shuuki also comes into the squad. Number 21, Jerry Scottidis. Number 23, Mason Fernandez, another one to come in. And Thomas Stobierski also coming into the team. So 4 changes from last week's starting lineup for Zoric. As I said, he rung the changes after that disappointing defeat. They'll be looking to make amends and set the record straight. Well, Micheli's St George, well, they'll be looking to score their first 3 points of the campaign and start to climb up the ladder. And it really is for these two. Should St George lose this game, well, they really are. Even though it's still so early, it really will be a relegation battle for season for them. But for Sutho, it's really a test of, are they a finals team, or will they drop into that group of teams in the middle of the competition ladder? That's why it's so important for both teams to take all 3 points here. Again, lots of notable absentees from both teams. St George missing Mark Rodic due to injury, and of course Chan Yelchan, who got injured in that game here against Rockdale in round 2. They'll need to try and find the goals outside of Casella, who's really been finding the back of the net the most for them this season. Already scored a couple goals. A similar situation at Sutherland in their first 4 games. It's almost been a split of goals between Daniel Wong and Maki Petrados. Harimoto and McDonald picking up the other 2. Both teams, though, losing their strikers early on in the campaigns. Costa Petrados a major loss for the Sharks. They'll have to replace him at some point once the window opens. Season-ending injury for him. And Chan Yolchan already missed a couple of weeks, and from more reports, still not quite close to returning for St. George. He was excellent until he got injured against Rockdale, so his importance to Michele's team is great as well. 2 games in tonight's action in the NPL competition. Manly United at Cromer Park host Mount Druitt Town Rangers. And tomorrow a whole bunch of games as well. Marconi take on Sydney Olympic. Rockdale host Wollongong. Western Sydney face Spirit in the match of the round. And St. George City take on Blacktown City. On Sunday, Apia host Sydney FC, and Sydney United take on the Central Coast Mariners. Action has kicked off. Sutherland in their away kits of navy blue, attacking from right to left. St. George in their traditional red, white and green, attacking from left to right. Great night for football. Not too warm here at Barton Park. Perfect conditions though. Let's hope we get some good football on offer as well. And you got a feel for St. George in their opening 4 games. And Fabian Michele in his debut season as a first grade coach in the New South Wales competition. Really were, I guess you could say, robbed of some results. That Rockdale game 1, which I was at, they really deserved more from that. They led right up until the 88th minute. And I guess you could say imploded, conceded 2 late goals and lost that game 2-1. Last week against Marconi, they put in a good showing, created a number of chances, and they're onto it early here. Here's Casella. Gets a bit caught up there and loses the ball out to Umebachi. Tough ball into the middle of the park. Picked up by O'Shea. Antonio can't quite get on the end of that one. That one evades Maki Petraros. Sutherland was good quality going away to, St. George was good quality going away to the champions. Another one of those players missing for St. George, Nikola Škatarić, just coming and giving the commentator a nice little smooch. Looking forward to getting him back on the park soon as well, recovering from an ACL injury. As I was saying, St. George really did look the goods against the champions. Had a number of chances they couldn't capitalise, and the same thing happened against Rockdale. Created chance after chance, but couldn't score. And in the end, quality teams like your Rockdales, like your Marconis, they punish. That's what Rockdale did. Marconi couldn't get the job done. Similarly against Sydney Olympic as well. St. George was good, but not good enough against Mount Druitt. Even though they probably played their worst game according to Michele, they just couldn't close the game out. They led 2-1 there. In the end, lost 3-2. For Zordic, it's been a lot of managing his side, missing so many players week in, week out. Just as he seems to have got someone back, he loses another. Matthew Mordich got injured in the first round. Such a quality young footballer. He's back today though on the bench. Hopefully gets some minutes. Dylan Susovic as well. Another who's been outstanding in the opening rounds. Dropped to the bench though this week. Definitely offer him something off the bench, and the Sutherland Sharks as well. Here's Kalajeru. Yona out-muscled there, but forced backwards. Manages to keep possession. Sito spreads it wide to Danaskos. Keeping possession here, St. George. It's interesting to note how many teams have suffered injuries so early into this campaign. Of course, we're into a 30-game season now for, if I'm not mistaken, the second year. I feel as though players still haven't really grown accustomed to that yet. Shorter break over the off-season as well. Maybe that's why there's a number of injuries going around all clubs, not just these two. Something that players and clubs and medical staffs will need to get used to and learn to manage. Kalajeru clips this one over the top for Yona. Almost got past Umebachi there, but the experienced central defender did just enough. Good touch on the ball there from Nick Sullivan. Sito plays it square for Thomas Brown. Now Yona has a forward run from Kalajeru, but it's a heavy pass and it'll roll into the feet of Nizic. Conceded 5 last week, Daniel Nizic. Will want to keep a clean sheet this week, no doubt. Umebachi falls back to Nizic, who chooses to clear away. Header one there by Petrados, but straight to the feet of Kalajeru. You can feel the tension here. Both, like I said, both these two teams, they need wins for different reasons. Sutherland to show that they're the real deal, that they last week was just a blip. Well, they can recover from that and really push for finals football. St. George on the other end, well, they want to show they're not a relegation team, that they're going to stay away from that part of the table. I think for them and Micheli, it's more about stabilising themselves in the middle of the competition for this season and building on that from in years to come. You need to survive first. It's a tough competition, this one. Anyone can beat anyone on any given day. Northwest Sydney Spirit have a flying start to the campaign, and nobody really expected that, bar David Perkovic, who's very confident in his team's abilities. It just proves that you don't have to be the big clubs to get onto good runs. And the way they've started the campaign, it's been impressive to say the least. Ball over the top, quite direct here for Petrados. He saw Siren off his line, takes the touch, looked to beat his defender. In the end, Danaskos comes across to help, but they've lost that again. Here is Grozos. Forced to go back though, and Suther will choose to keep possession all the way back to Umebachi. Strong challenge there from Danaskos. Free kick goes the way of the visitors. KG opening 10 minutes. Will we see the first real chance of the game come now? Skotadis over the ball, will deliver the free kick. Arimoto goes forward. Arimoto scoring his first goal of the campaign last week. A thunderous strike against Olympic. Ball comes in toward Arimoto, but too close to Mackenzie Siren, who saw it all the way. Comfortable take for the St. George keeper in the end. Suris has been pretty impressive as well in the opening rounds of the competition. Patient build up from the home side, trying to draw the Sutherland players out to play around them. Brown, now Kalajeru, back to Brown again. Sito. Here's Kalajeru, forward for Casella, back to Suris. St. George have only scored 5 goals in their opening 4 games. Only the Western Sydney Wanderers have scored less. Sydney FC and the Mariners have also scored 5. They've also conceded a few more. Central Coast have conceded 17 goals in their opening 4 games. Sydney 9, St. George 8. We'll talk about leaking goals. Well, RPL Leichhardt have conceded 12 goals in their first 4 competition games. And that is who St. George will play next week. But still, we need to get something here. And again, last week's result should be a real confidence booster for them. Yona picks up that loose ball in midfield. Now gives him a chance to run at Umebachi. And he's got the pace as Yona. Still Sunday Yona feeds the ball in. And that's 1-0. They've taken the lead. Aidan O'Shea. Well, everybody thought he was in an offside position. Nizic is remonstrating with the linesman, but he's adamant. I think it was Shueki that... In fact, I think it was Mason Fernandez that may have kept O'Shea on, and the home team have hit the front. But Sunday Yona, what a run through midfield, slotted the ball through for O'Shea. And it's 1-0 St. George. I wish we had access to instant replay. But from my angle, we definitely looked offside. Manly also leads 1-0. I'm sure you guys can rewind the camera at home. I'm doing just that now as we speak. It was very, very tight. How will Sutherland respond now? And I'll tell you what, excellent work from the assistant referee, because Aidan O'Shea was onside. Great call. First glance, it looked obviously offside, but just had a look at the video and he was definitely onside. I think it was Mason Fernandez that kept him on. In fact, it wasn't. It was Thomas Tobierski that kept him on. Thomas Tobierski kept Aidan O'Shea onside, and he's put the ball comfortably beyond Nizic. Steven Zoric's team needs to react now. What a start for Micheli's side. change of pushing Yona into the starting lineup, rewarding him for his goal last week. It's paid off already. A goal and assist for Yona in 2 games. Not a bad return. Here's Arimoto. Driving forward through the fence. Lost the ball, loose touch. Now Siren under pressure. Sends the ball upfield. Header one there by Stobierski. Here's Sullivan. Such a fine footballer to watch play, Nick Sullivan. One of those fanboys of Nick Sullivan, always hoping that he'll kick on. So much potential and quality. Hasn't quite hit the heights you would have expected of him. Nevertheless, hopefully he can get fit and stay fit. Will offer a lot to the Sutherland Sharks, no doubt, both with his ability and his experience. Here's Umebachi. Stobierski under pressure. He's kept it in somehow. Skotadis spreads it wide for Arimoto. Forward run from Petranos. Chooses to go to Shueki instead. Now Sullivan. Umebachi lifts it over the top. Dealt with by Sito. Now Kalajeru under pressure. Peter Grozos closes him down. St. George just struggling to get out of this part of the field for now. Shueki putting Siren under pressure and almost stealing in there. High press here, but Kalajeru calmly plays the ball out. Well played by St. George. They've done so well there, and look at the numbers now streaming forward. Suras cut out there by Arimoto. Umebachi takes it through, clips the ball into space. Shueki chasing it down, but defended well. Here's Danaskos. Back for Sito. Now Pat O'Shea. O'Shea again. Forward into the feet of Casella. Hasn't got going as yet, Jaden Casella, but definitely been St. George's best player in the opening rounds. Him and Mark Rodic also really stood out in that game against Rockdale. Did a great job, and while Rodic was on the park, St. George were in complete control. Him exiting the field of play led to their loss in the end, really, you could say. Lost that stability in midfield, and at that point he was doing a great job on Brendan Chalakian. Good challenge there from Sullivan, getting back and doing some defensive work. Goes Mo Ahmed, but the ball now for Casella. Calling for handball there was Casella. Doesn't get the call. Here's Sullivan. Back for Nizic, and they played it to his wrong foot under pressure. Gives it straight away to the St. George player, and luckily reacted quickly. You've got to know that your goalkeeper's a left footer, and you've played it to his right, put him under real pressure. O'Shea couldn't quite test Nizic with the shot though. I'll tell you what, as an experienced left footer, we don't really like to use our right feet at all, so almost certain that Nizic is no better than the typical left footer. The right foot is purely used for the bus and nothing more than that. Antonio picks it up in midfield and feeds in Suras here. Good ball movement from St. George. And even under pressure, they play with such confidence as well. I'll tell you what, there's some spies here too. Brady Smith is here. Northwest Sydney Spirit player. Coming to see what the opposition has on offer. Spies everywhere at Barton Park. Great header there by Brown. And Sullivan loses the ball out to Suras. Good combination there between Antonio and O'Shea. Now Danaskos clipping it forward toward Casella. And again, header won by Danaskos. Calageru square for O'Shea. Here's Antonio. Keep the ball so well to St. George. Antonio almost bursting through with that. An issue that St. George has had is keeping leads. Dropped a couple already this campaign. Speaking to Fabian Micheli pre-game, need to learn to manage the game. It is a young squad. Game management so important. You would have hoped they've learnt their lesson by now. As I said, twice they've led. They led here as well in both those games, and both times they've let lead slip. Here's Antonio. Ball forward for him again. Cuts it back toward Casella. Omobachi clears away. Danaskos played that into the path of Shueki. A bit of space here for Fernandez. He hasn't gotten the ball much at all, Mason Fernandez. Forced back now, Sutherland. Ahmed all the way back to Nizic. Umabachi for Fernandez. Nice work there from Stobierski. Shueki wanted that one. Switched over from Sullivan, but opted for the simpler pass. Good work there from Shueki. Got some pace. Now Grozos for Sullivan. I think Sullivan looking for the shot. Forced to spread it wide to Fernandez. Mason Fernandez closed down. Sullivan uses his body well, but he's got a couple red shirts for company. Ahmed looking for Shueki. Arimoto can't keep that one in. Calageru now. Bit of space here. Goes to Pat O'Shea. Touch forward, Umebachi, good tackle, but the foul came earlier. It was Scottadis that made the foul. Great ball through here for Danaskos. Flag stays down. O'Shea. Some save from Daniel Nizic. Strong left hand to keep that one out. Aidan O'Shea almost had two for the evening. This time Nizic coming out on top. Good save from the Sutherland custodian. Another good chance for the home team. Sutherland yet to create one. Again, Sulsovic and Moric on the bench can perhaps offer something in the front third for Sutherland. Good football again from St. George. Here's Danaskos back to O'Shea. Pass intended for Yona. Given away there by Fernandez. Got bailed out by Umebachi. Antonio with a back heel, didn't quite work out. And the flag's raised on the far side against Maki Petrados. O'Shea out wide for Danaskos. Tough pass that one for Antonio to deal with, and this could be a bit of a counter opportunity on here for the Sharks. Fernandez trying to get forward. Petrados was the target. The pass though, not what was required there. Looked a good chance for a moment for the visitors. Suris. Now Cito. O'Shea wide for Danaskos. Suris wide for Cito. Good work again down the left. Danaskos with the early ball in. Umebachi so well at reading. Crosses into the box, but it's fallen here for Antonio! 2-0 to the home team. Bay Antonio with his first in St. George colours. Doubles the home team's advantage. It was great football. They built that up so well, did St. George. When the chance presented itself to Bay Antonio, he made no mistake with the finish. Slotting it beyond Nizic. And there's some work to do now for the Sharks. I'll be so disappointed conceding like that again. It was the lost header, the flick on. I think it was Casella that won the header for Antonio. Nizic sends it forward. Header won by O'Shea. And look at the confidence now oozing from these St. George players as well. They're stepping up higher. trying to win the ball high up the park. Sutherland's played out well here, though. Here's Shueki. Look how quickly they get back to defend, though. Shueki comes away with it. Sullivan wants to cut back. Chance there for Petrados. Wasted opportunity for the visitors. Just swung at that one, did Mucky Petrados. Still a lot of time to play. 60 minutes of football still to go, so there's enough time for Steve Zordich and his team to turn the tide. But they'll need a much more direct display in the second half, because this is just not right for them. They haven't really put many chances together. That was their best opportunity, that one. That just fell the way of Petrados. St. George look very much in control from the first kick of this game. Under pressure again. Umebachi forced to go all the way back to Nizic once more. Just can't seem to find those channels, or even the free midfielder. And defensively, they look a little weak. Maybe confidence issue as well. Conceded 5 last week. They've already conceded 2. They were 4-1 down at the break last week as well. So 2 weeks in a row with leaked goals. And here comes maybe another opportunity. Heavy pass from Casella for Antonio, who saved that from going out for a goal kick so they can keep the press up here. It was a good chance there. If Casella just took a little weight off that ball, Bay Antonio could have been in again. Fernandez. Umebachi. Grozos for Arimoto. Now Sullivan. Here's Arimoto. Now Shueki gets into the area. It's a poor touch. It let him down. He did so well to break into the box, but touch wasn't great. Let him down. They get a corner though. The first of the evening for the visitors. And they've got some tall timber that can make a difference. And Umebachi's good in the air too. Got Sullivan and Arimoto. They can push themselves around. Ball comes in toward Arimoto, but too much on that. Going out for a throw. I feel like opportunities like those are there for the Sharks to press. They won the ball back anyway. Spatadis. Here's Umebachi for Mo Ahmed. Spatadis again, searching for Maki Petrados. It's not a bad ball. Petrados with the early cross into the area. What a save from Mackenzie Siren. Keeping out Thomas Dobierski there, the left back, made the run forward. And I think he thought he scored, to be honest. He hit that as well as he could, but Mackenzie Siren makes an excellent save, and that's a little bit better from the visitors. We've seen them pushing a little high in the last couple of minutes. Almost getting a goal there. They get another opportunity from a corner now. Delivery comes in. Arimoto saved again. It's still there. Cleared away. Siren with two big saves in 60 seconds. That's when you need your goalkeeper to step up. Hasn't been caught into action at all in this first half. And then makes two big saves in a short space of time, and almost another opportunity presenting itself for the Sharks. This will be a bit more encouraging for Zordic's team now. Central ball for Shueki. Foul there by Petrados. And this looks like a serious injury as well now for Thomas Brown and Fabian Michelli. First and foremost, we'll be hoping that Brown is okay, but he's already 3 defenders down. His hands in his head. I can see him on the opposite side now. His teammates immediately called for the medical staff. Doesn't look good at all for Brown, who's been quite good in this opening part of the game. Had a look at that as well. Doesn't look good for Thomas Brown. You hate to say it, but it does look like a serious knee injury. His leg got caught in the ground. You don't want to see that again, I'll tell you now. I don't think that Brown will take any further part in this game. Perhaps the season. They are checking for the ACL here now, and I'm afraid that's what it could be. Getting further attention. The stretcher is out as well, so that will definitely be Thomas Brown's night done. Again, I really wish him the best of luck, and we hope it's not as serious as it seems, but this one looks like a season-ending injury for him. At Cromer Park, by the way, in the 36th minute. Manly United lead by 2-0 against Mount Druitt Town Rangers. As Brown is stretchered off. Tough to see that. His teammates run over to send him off the park and try and give him a bit of strength. As the crowd claps him off. Absolutely devastated is Thomas Brown. He knows he's done something. Could spill the ends of the campaign for him. And I think we'll see a reshuffle now. The exciting Caden Wright comes in to replace Brown. And what that'll mean is Pat O'Shea will drop a little deeper into defence, allowing Caden Wright to slot into the midfield. Ball sent toward Casello, wins a header again. Hayden O'Shea doesn't get there. Adi Moto did enough. Played forward again. It's not the first time Casella's won a header in front of Muhammad Ahmed. Here's Shueki. Still Shueki, but Danaskos does the job. Good defending from Danaskos, experienced defending. Spoke about it last week at the Blacktown and Apia game. Both teams played three at the back there. Here as well, three at the back. Spirit play with the three at the back. So many teams in the competition now have transitioned to that formation. Here's Arimoto. Back to Ahmed. Umebachi. Skotadis. Back for Ahmed. Sullivan now looking to switch the play for Stobierski. Brings it down well. Gets beyond Yona. Nice skill from Stobierski. Can't feed the ball through for Petrados though. Skotadis. Again, Stobierski racking up the nutmegs, but it doesn't matter because Yona might rack up the goals here for St. George. And Antonio almost getting beyond Mohamed there. Quick throw taken. Yona cuts it back. Had to find a red shirt there. Sunday Yona dances past. Closed down in the end. Antonio, pressure continues here by St. George Kalajeru. I'll tell you what, that break probably helped St. George. Sutherland was in the ascendancy now and looked to have turned the tide again. Strong header from Sullivan. Great touch from Petrados. He has the pace to beat O'Shea. Not the experience though. Great challenge from Aidan O'Shea. Sorry, Pat O'Shea. Inside the final few minutes of the first half, there'll be obviously, I'd say, about 5 minutes of time added on. A couple goals and that unfortunate injury to Brown. Great challenge from Sullivan. Fernandez can't come away with the ball. St. George can though. Spread out wide here to Kalajeru. Good ball forward for Yona. Yona's dangerous one-on-one. Sunday Yona sends that one well off target. Poor effort from Yona. Did well to get into the position. His shot though, one to forget. Almost hit the last flight out of Sydney with that one. Stobierski for Mabachi. Sullivan beaten there by Suras. Casella has a go, try to catch out Nizic. Saw it all the way though. Did the Sutherland goalkeeper, and he's telling Umebachi just to calm down on the ball and try and face forward. Cito out muscling Petrados. Good turn there in the middle by Souros, and he's fouled. He'll take the free kick. Skotadis making the foul. Four minutes of time added on. Ball over the top for Petrados. Sirens very high, top of the box. Thought he may have overrun that one for a moment, but keeper quickly adjusted his feet. Ball intercepted, but too much on that for Fernandez by Mo Ahmed. They're struggling to find the final pass at the moment. Oh, the Sharks. Again, I said they had that period of about 10 minutes where they started to connect better, started to create chances. Siren was forced into two big saves, two important saves. And the unfortunate injury happened to Thomas Brown, and all that momentum was lost for the visitors. They've got to play it down now themselves. I think it's Richard Schuecki on the far side. Seems to be struggling with something. Hasn't asked for medical attention though, so just about 2 minutes of the allocated 4 have passed. New siren. Casella. Can St. George create one more opportunity? He's right. Danaskos back to right. Good ball in. Antonio makes a 3. Bay Antonio gets on the end of that cross and taps it home. Casella with a delightful delivery into the box. And Bay Antonio, with his second of the night, makes it 3-0 for St. George. In the final minute of first half stoppage time. And Steve Zorich will need to make changes at the break. He's got his whole bench up now to warm up. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some changes for the second half. What a first half from the home team. And they're striding toward their first win of the season. There's still 45 minutes to go. We know what's happened to them in the opening games of the season. In fact, I said they led twice this year. They've actually led in 3 of their 4 games and lost them all. And Grozos, that effort sums up the first half for the Sutherland Sharks. After 45 minutes at Barton Park, St. George FC 3, Sutherland Sharks 0. St. George opened the scoring through Aidan O'Shea after some excellent work by Sunday Yona. Bay Antonio then got on the end of a Jaden Casella flick on to make it 2-0 before Antonio got another in first half stoppage time. Again, Casella the architect with a wonderful delivery into the box. They make it 3-0 after 45 minutes. All to do for the Sharks and Steve Zoric in the second half. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Moric forced back to Tresoglavic. Good turn. Decent switch as well, but Jona got back to head it all the way back to his keeper, Siren. O'Shea. Calageru's pass intended for Jona, doesn't find him. And Fabian Micheli not happy. Ahmed wide for Tresoglavic. Back to Nizic. Moric asking for the ball. Generally operates in the midfield, but playing as an attacking right winger. Under pressure here, the Sharks. Sullivan brings it down, plays Umebachi. Early out wide. Umebachi for Mo Ahmed. Plays it forward, searching for Shueki. Cleared away by Danaskos. Tresoglavic. Square for Umebachi. Again, not a lot of movement in the front third for Sutherland. And they aren't creating. That's the problem. When you're 3 goals down and not creating, things don't look too rosy. St. George come away with the ball in a dangerous position with Jona on it. But Umebachi, experienced challenge there. Good ball forward for Moric now. Couldn't quite take it in his stride though, the youngster. Cito for right. They calm it down. Much better game management, you'd say, from St. George here this evening than what they've shown so far. And now Jona breaking through. Heavy touch, let him down though. Had to do better there, Sunday Jona. It's perhaps something that's maybe let him down from making that next step forward. Very technical, very fast, but it's generally the last touch or the finish that have let him down. Something that he'll need to work on in the future. But definitely something there to work with. And if we can sort out those little things, he's a player that has a bright future ahead of him. Nizic sends this one toward Shueki. It's just easy for St. George. They really aren't troubled in this game at all by the Sharks. Shueki really running hard, but to no avail. So Naskos wins that header. Here's Grozos. Back for Ahmed. Sullivan. Tresoglavic, bit of space ahead of him. Forced to go back again. The movement is minimal in the front third. Great ball forward. Here's a chance. Offside flag raised though on Mason Fernandez. It's a great ball by Skotadis. They are missing a number of players, Sutherland, but as is St. George, it just seems as though the ones that Sutherland are missing are hurting them a little more. Kotaro Katsuta was sent off last week. Daniel Wong injured early. Of course, Costa Petrados lost a while ago now. Lachlan McDonald missing as well. Big injury list for the Sharks. Here's one to chase for Yona. Good reaction though. And you talk about key players missing for the Sharks. Well, one of St. George's best players, if not best player so far, is Mark Rodic. He's unavailable. And Chen Yochan offers so much in the front third. Here's a corner in. It was a good ball. Headed away. And you look at the defensive outs as well for St. George, and then losing Thomas Brown in the first half. How about that from Casella? Nizic forced to save with his feet. Again, they look the more likely. St. George, so very dangerous. And their transition defense is really keeping Sutherland out. Tesoglavic goes forward now, trying to take on Danaskos. He's ran himself into a corner. Still manages to come away with it. Back here for Sullivan. Again, no movement though. It's all so very slow. Shot from distance, held by Siren. Fernandez testing the keeper. He's right and gets caught up on the ball. That's silly from Shueki, but it's worked out somehow for Sullivan. Now Fernandez, delivery into the box, but nobody there at the far post. Cleared away by Danaskos. Just feel like they're missing a bit of urgency. Sutherland. Again, no movement in the front third. Again, forced all the way back again. Here's Fernandez, needs to get more involved. Skotadis, tough pass for Moric, but somehow worked out. Still though, St. George firm in the block. Ball back for Siren and clears away. Shueki was sneaking up behind him. Umebachi. Back for Ahmed. Well, it was a nice idea from Sullivan, and Danaskos there came in. Gets the ball out to Moric. Cuts it back for Grozos. Shot from distance, wasn't bad from Skotadis. Held by the keeper. Had a bit of venom behind it, but not a lot of precision. Sito back to Siren. Less than 30 minutes left on the clock, and confusion there between Stobierski and Umebachi. St. George come away with it. Grozos trying to get to this one before Sito, but can't make it. Danaskos centrally for Suris, who's closed down by Tresoglavic, but again, St. George come away with the ball. They just want it more at the moment. Umebachi trying to close down O'Shea. Right. Good ball forward for Antonio. Better now from Sutherland. But again, look at that. They give the ball away so quickly. And it's not because it was a poor pass. Poor pass because there were no options. Here's Grozos now. Moric. Justin Poon is preparing to come on for the home team. Sullivan driving forward. That's more encouraging from the Sharks. And Shueki, not sure if that was a shot or a cross. In the end, it was neither. Another wasted chance for the Sharks. A change taking place now. Yona comes off. Poon comes on. Thomas Dunn also comes in. And here is Dunn making the forward run. Feeding in Casella now. Suris. Back for Wright. Good challenge from Tresoglavic. Nice turn as well from Grozos. Shueki wants to play it forwards. Great feet from Grozos. Has Fernandez in support, but cut out there again. I said that transition defense from the home team. They really get back quickly. Good ball wide for Moric here. And Moric getting into the area. Moric cuts it back. Chance for Sullivan. Blocked. Sutherland's best opportunity of the game. Of the second half. They had two good ones in the first half. That Siren made great saves to keep St. George ahead. That one the best of the second period. That's how little they've created. Tresoglavic falls back. Tresoglavic under pressure here. He's been robbed of possession. Nice feet from Casella. Antonio, look at the space for Poon. Antonio looking for the hat-trick. Just wide of Nizic's goal. Here's Grozos. Looking to get himself in the mood. Danaskos forced back to Siren. Shueki was closing that one down. Tough pass from Tresoglavic. Poon in there. Cleared away. Here's Kotadis. Spreads it wide. Looks as though the home team are getting closer and closer to that first win of the season. The worst thing from a Sutherland perspective is they haven't really put St. George under any pressure whatsoever. And when you know a team, I keep repeating myself, but a team that's struggled to stay ahead in games and close out matches. The fact that you've put no pressure on them in the second half baffles me somewhat. Disappointing performance. I'm sure that Steve Zordich will be very disappointed in his team as well. I would have expected a little bit more urgency from them. Fernandez robbed there of the ball. And swung out at Poon as well. And Poon continues his run forward, but the pass is off from Antonio. Goal scorer Aidan O'Shea was the other one to make way when Thomas Dunn came on. Scorer of the opening goal of the evening. Sutherland now conceded 8 goals in 2 games. I said that last week's result against Marconi could be a confidence booster for St. George, their first point of the season. And it looks as though it's worked. St. George has played really good football this season, but they haven't got any reward for it. This could be the turning point of their season. Securing a victory. As Skotadis makes his way forward. Moric is at the back post. That's where the ball goes, and he didn't gamble, Matty Moric there. May have been a little bit too close to siren anyway, but it's more of what Sutherland really need. They've shown little to none of that in the second half. Good touch from Casella. Antonio thought he was going to send that one over the top for Casella. Umepachi reads that. Casella will take the corner, and his deliveries have been very dangerous so far this game. Can he deliver another? Good ball into the near post. It was Antonio. He's looking for his hat-trick. And Jordan Roberts will come in for Stobierski. I believe Susovic will also come on. Susovic comes in for Mason Fernandez. Ball back for Siren. I'm surprised as well, like I said, that Susovic didn't come on earlier. I understand Fernandez just returned from injury as well, so probably reached his peak in minutes, and maybe that was why Susovic was kept on the bench a little longer. Poon looking for Casella. Straight into the feet of Caden Wright. Sums up Sutherland's night. Wright has a go from distance. Nizic was forced to quickly react. Great effort from Caden Wright. Try to catch out the Sutherland keeper. Up to the task though. Casella to deliver the corner. Good ball in, headers there, cleared away. Poon has a go, flicked in. The flag does eventually go up. Antonio with another chance at collecting the match ball. I think it was O'Shea's header that was cleared away. Grozos, heavy touch. Here's Cito. Naskos heads it on. By Antonio, picks up the loose ball. Poon wants it played forward. Dressoglo should be able to deal with that. Back for Nizic. Clears away. Shueki still full of running. But it looks as though St. George and Fabian Michelli will get that first 3 points of the campaign. Three points will lift them above Sydney FC, above the Western Sydney Wanderers, above Mount Druitt. At least until tomorrow. Poon with some nice footwork. Tell you what, the team kiddies will be full of a bit of cash. There's a few nutmegs on tonight, so I'm sure the teams have noted them down. Modic's pass is well read there by O'Shea. Should have went across the field to Susovic. So the win will lift St. George a few positions up the ladder. Relieve some pressure on Michelli. Raise the confidence at Barton Park. Tough task next week, going away to Apia Leichhardt. Sutherland, well, it doesn't get any easier for them either. Derby against Rockdale Illingdon. Intercepted by Skotadis. Now Moric can't get there. Poor pass from Grozos. Easily read by Danaskos. It's really summed up the visitors' night. Too many loose balls, too many given away passes. Not enough movement, not enough creativity. A very, very disappointing performance from Sutherland this evening. Again, completely understand that they're undermanned. But still, Zordic will be very unhappy with the effort put in by some of his players. I'm sure he'll let them know throughout the week. Moric sliding in and getting a toe to that ball. Skotadis, nice pass forward for Moric, but the flag's up. Hit the post anyway, for good measure. Manly United have polled on the goals as well. They now lead Mount Druitt 4-0. Big win for Manly. Push them up the ladder as well and push them up into third place. In fact, it'll push them up to second place at least until tomorrow. Patrick Zvanzwijk will be very happy. Strong challenge there on Grozos. Excellent footwork from Skotadis. Grozos wasn't happy after that challenge. White here for Roberts. Sutherland veteran and legend. Now Skotadis plays in Roberts, but he won't get there. Maybe he will. He didn't in the end. The flag's raised. Goal kick. Sito sends it forward toward Casella. Won so many headers this evening, Jaden Casella. Not the tallest player out there, but definitely got a good leap on him, and that's a bad tackle from Umebachi. A very, very poor challenge. When you look at there's 10 minutes to go, actually, I think it's fair to say even a yellow there could have been the other colour. So much intent behind that. Professional foul nonetheless. But unnecessary challenge at this time of the game. And if he was to get a red card, it just creates even further problems for Zoric. A player with the experience of Umebachi, who's had a decent game. Decent game considering the situation, of course, but probably not required. Casella, who was fouled, will take this free kick. Bit far for a shot at goal, it seems. I'll tell you what, it wasn't too far, even though Nizic had it covered all the way. Roberts. Forward for Grozos, headed away by Danaskos. Skotadis brings it down and finds the pass for Sulsovic. Probably Sulsovic's first touch of the ball since coming on. Gets it out to Skotadis. Not sure what that was. Get a corner though. Here's Skotadis. Could cross in. Oh, it's a good chance there for the Sharks. And Shueki is asking the question of the referee. Referee not interested at all. I think he's cramping up, Shueki. Lots of football still to come this week. It's 5-0 now at Manly, by the way. As we said, tomorrow Marconi host Olympic at the Palace. Ealing then take on the Wollongong Wolves. Western Sydney Wanderers host Northwest Sydney Spirit. Top of the table, Northwest Sydney Spirit. St. George take on Blacktown City. And then on Sunday, Apia host Sydney FC and Sydney United welcome the Central Coast Mariners to Sydney United Sports Centre. Also, the NPL Women's New South Wales competition kicks off this weekend. Match of the round takes us to Lambert Park for a 2024 Grand Final rematch between the MacArthur Rams and Apia Leichhardt. It was supposed to be, well, there's a change. Ty McGowan comes in for the Sharks in place of Shueki, who's struggling with cramp. And look at this, the numbers that St. George has here. Casella picks up that pass from Poon. Danaskos overlapping across goal. Handball. That was a clear handball. The Sharks get away with that one. That was so obvious. Maybe felt a bit sorry for the Sharks there, the referee. Danaskos now. I'll tell you what, Bay Antonio would be fuming. I've no doubt he would have taken a penalty to round out his hat-trick. Could have had the match ball. Referee missed that one. Here is Antonio. Good ball for Casella, who deserves a goal. Casella cleared off the line. Great defending. Jaden Casella did everything right. Presoglavic, the half-time substitute, did well to get back there and clear that one out. But it's been a first-class performance from St. George. The referee has suffered an injury and he'll be substituted and move to the fourth officials bench. Never nice to see a referee get injured. Good opportunity here, though, for Charbel Geha to get an opportunity as the man in the middle in the last 5 minutes of this one. A very talented referee, Charbel is. One to keep an eye out in the future as well, most definitely. I hope that Moitabo Ibrahimi isn't out for too long, whatever injury he suffered. Fourth official. Thought he was going to have an easy Friday night, Damian Delovsky, but been caught upon for the last 5 minutes to man the line on the far side. Here's Roberts, nice turn. There's a forward for Moric. And McGowan's onside, but there was no one there. Here's Tresoglavic, the big central defender. Good feet. Here's Sulcevic. And they've been forced back again. Look how quickly they get back in numbers. St. George. Just astounded by the urgency from Sutherland. In an attacking position, the ball goes back when you're down by 3 goals. Grozos wide for Moric. Grozos turns away from a couple. Nice ball forward for Susovic. First time hit. Wasn't bad. I think the keeper got a touch on that. He did. It's another save by Siren. He made 2 key saves in the first half. At a time where the Sharks look to be taking control of the game. And an unfortunate injury to Thomas Brown, which looks to be season ending, disrupted Sutherland's positive play. They just haven't been able to recover since then. Fabio Micheli will be very pleased with his team's performance. From start to finish, they've been excellent. They deserve these 3 points, and had it not been for some desperate defending, it could have been worse for the Sharks. There's going to be a change, but Ibrahimi, who's just been moved to the 4th official, quickly put his board down, so missed the change there. I think it's Harrison Farrow that's being prepared on the far side to come on. Suris will come off. It is Harrison Farrow that comes on. Sounds like it could be a first grade debut. Loud cheer from the stands for the introduction of Farrow. Grozos will deliver. This would just be a consolation if they're able to get something. Here's Roberts. McGowan. Wins another corner for the Sharks. And I haven't seen an indication of how much time will be added. Flat delivery. Evaded everyone. Here's Sullivan. Clips it back to the far post. Good chance here. Siren gets there, and it's a foul on the keeper. That's the game management that Micheli will be happy about. Spoke about it pre-game. He said it's something that he's spoken to his side about, something they needed to improve. They've most definitely done that here. Had a 3-0 lead, and they've really closed this game out confidently. And they'll take this confidence into next week. A fine performance. And for Sutherland, well, lots of work to do. They've conceded 8 goals in their last 2 games. Daniel Nizic won't be happy with that either. It'll be a good test next week for St. George. They travel to Lambert Park, but they travel there full of confidence to take on Apia, one of the giants of this competition. And Sutherland, well, they take on the premiers next week. The grand final runners-up, Rockdale Illingdon. With Seymour Shaw not ready for play yet either. They won't play that one at home. And I'm sure that's had an effect on them too, not being able to train at their home ground. Yeah, large amount of players absent. Everything has its effect, but not on the effort. That's something that they need to improve on. Full time at Cromer Park. Manly come away with all 3 points. A 5-0 win over Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Remember, lots of football still to come this weekend across Football League 1, Men's and Women's Football League 2. NPL Women's competition kicks off this weekend as well. And of course, 6 more games in the NPL Men's New South Wales competition to go. Sullivan. Ball switch for Roberts. Now Grozos. And that is full-time. Charbel Geha blows the full-time whistle. A dominant display by the home team. Fabian Michelli and St. George celebrate their first 3 points of the campaign with a 3-0 victory over the Sutherland Sharks. An excellent performance. One to most definitely build off for the home team. They opened the scoring via Aidan O'Shea in the first half. Bay Antonio then added a couple more for a 3-0 win. Back to the drawing board for Steve Zordich. But Fabian Michelli and St. George will celebrate this one. But for now, that's good night and enjoy the rest of the action this weekend in the NPL Men's New South Wales competition.